Hello, everyone, and welcome to Turn Zero Loss, hosted by the Magic Engineers. Today, we are going to be continuing our set review series on Phyrexia All Will Be One. We're going to be discussing today the color red. We're going to be talking about a few of our favorite cards and kind of continue the same format you've seen in the previous episodes. I'll be kicking us off here with Slowbad. I love Slowbad. It sucks that he died, but it's lore. So, Slowbad, Iron Goblin, 2 and a red for a legendary creature, Phyrexian Goblin Artificer. That's a lot of creature types. 3/3, and he has tap, sacrifice an artifact. Add an amount of red equal to the sacrificed artifact's mana value. Spend this mana only to cast artifact spells or activate abilities of artifacts. One side note, I love the flavor text on this card.
Yeah, right. It's really good.
Once he fought to save Mirrodin, now he fights to remake it. Ugh.
So this card plus Goblin Welder equals as much mana as you want.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I love it. It's so... chef's kiss. Love this card.
It's very good red. It's very accurate red ramp.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And I think notable ways that this deck could be... not this deck, but rather this card could be used. It could be used in the 99 of a Godo deck. It could be used in the 99 of a... What's the name of it? Crap. It's the red-white commander from Strixhaven. It was Osgir. That's what it was. Osgir the Reconstructor.
Is that the deck that you own with your girlfriend?
I don't own this deck. My girlfriend does, okay?
He's got time sharing it.
Regardless, I would love to add this card to an Osgir the Reconstructor deck because it helps kind of synergize with Osgir to get artifacts into the graveyard, and then if we need to recast any artifacts or cast any artifacts in our hand, helps fuel the game plan as an overall. And I love that. It's pretty simple. It's also just a goblin. I love goblins. They're really really small guys, and they do their thing. Next up is Urabrask's Forge. Urabrask's Forge is 2 and a red, and it has, at the beginning of combat on your turn, put an oil counter on Urabrask's Forge. Then create an X1 red Phyrexian horror creature token with trample and haste, where X is the number of oil counters on Urabrask's Forge. Sacrifice that token at the beginning of the next end step. It's red. That's such a red effect. I love it. Let's make a really weak butt, but really strong face, and incentivize you to only use it to attack. Go. Kill. I love it.
It reminds me of that one card that you had in one of your decks that it's like a Rite of the Storm.
Oh, Rite of the Storm Rager?
Yeah.
Yeah. That it's similar but different because it only gives it to me. So because Rite of the Storm Rager gave it to everyone, and you couldn't attack me with it. But in this one, it's just like, I get it at the start of my combat.
And now I hit you.
And now I hit you, or at least try to hit you. And you're probably going to block it. But at the very least, it could deal some damage over if it gets enough oil counters on that artifact. Which, 3 mana to get this thing out, it could get out pretty early and accrue value just over time. Solid include. I love this card.
It's a fun card.
Yeah, I like it.
How about you talk on the next one, David?
Sure. So I got 2 cards that you guys may enjoy, and I know I enjoy them. So the first one of which is another Planeswalker. We're 2 for 8 so far on Planeswalkers I like, so we're batting pretty high this set. And that is Koth, Fire of Resistance. It is a 4 mana, 2 generic, 2 red, legendary Planeswalker with subtype Koth, very important. Comes in with foil loyalty. It's +2 reads. You can search your library for a basic mountain card, reveal it, put in your hand, then shuffle. Koth's -3 is that he deals damage to target creature equal to the number of mountains you control. And his -7 effect is that you get an emblem with whenever the mountain enters the battlefield under your control, this emblem deals 4 damage to any target.
I love Koth.
I love Koth. I love Valakut. This card is literally the best of both worlds for me.
I only like the alts. I don't like the rest of the card.
Really?
Yeah, so my issue with that is that it's -3 is that it's just target creature. I wish it could be any target like the other menace planeswalkers in this set. And I just yeah, it mana fixes you, but I'm not it just playing for its ult is just really hard to do because it's really easy to just knock him down even though it's like because it'll take you at least 3 turns to get to his ult. That's my issue with it.
I guess that's fair. I don't know. It's just more a matter of I like the mana fixing. It's not something we see a lot with red. And this card is very good at protecting itself from attackers. Like, so it can stick around a lot longer than I think you give credit for. Especially with a board of little goblins or little Phyrexian boys ready to give its life to Koth. But yeah, I think I like this card a lot. And it's kind of like I like kind of difficult planeswalker effects like this, where you have to like kind of work for it and put as much into it as possible. So
That's fair. I just wish it was better costed. I think if it was 3 costed, I would change my tune. I just don't like this at 4 or 4 mana.
I that makes sense. Like, and it's a hard 4 mana to get, but it's also I like these kind of cards, and it's not something you would. It's something I would only run in like a mono red deck, like a Purphoros deck. I wouldn't run this. I wouldn't run this with like 2 or more colors. It's narrow, but I like the narrowness in this case.
And that's understandable. Everyone has their favorites for different reasons.
Yep. So next up, we're gonna move on to Red Sun's Twilight. It is we got the second Twilight card here. It is a X red sorcery. Destroy up to X target artifacts. If X is 5 or more for each artifact destroyed this way, create a token that's a copy of it. Those tokens gain haste, exile at the beginning of the next end step. If you play this card, if you play this card right, you will win the game that turn.
Yes.
In the right situation. It's the kind of card that I love to see where you wait for your moment, pick your spot, and then you play it and you yoink victory away from the jaws of defeat. Like this is the kind of card that leads to a lot of really good, cool, and fun moments.
I think it just can give good value too.
Yeah, it's also strong value.
It's a very red Phyrexian aligned card, I will say. Like that victory from the jaws of defeat thing, I really like that.
Yeah. So
I also like its flavor text too.
Yeah.
Where once there was apathy, Urbrask brought passion, and the great work truly began.
Yeah, it's sick. So, yeah, thumbs up on this card. Is good.
Is my turn?
Yes, it is.
It's my turn.
It is your turn.
These 2 cards, they're my 2 upwards of probably top 3 of favorite cards in this set. And one of them is All Will Be One. Is 3 generic red enchantment. Whenever one or more counters on whenever you put 1 or more counters on a permanent or player, for All Will Be One deals that much damage to target opponent, creature and opponent controls, or planeswalker and opponent controls.
Roll credits. He said the name.
Yeah, he said the name of the set.
I love this. It's a form of counter hate that we don't see, and it's very often it'll be damaging you whenever you're putting on counters because a lot of counters you might not go in all at once. So if you're like in a +1/+1 counter, it's very separate, and you're just like pinging each one. It just I like it so much.
I think the big thing to note about it is that it does that much damage. So
yeah, I know.
If you put 12 counters on a permanent, which, as we talked about earlier, you got Vraska in the Black episode. You take Vraska with a Voragclex, you get 12 counters, you deal 12 damage.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this works for planeswalkers entering as well, which is just, this is very versatile.
It also works with any permanent, so guess what? Your Dark Depths that comes in with 20 counters, that now deals 20 damage.
And then Marital Age can finish the job.
Or however many counters Dark Depths does, I can't remember.
It's
Yeah,
10.
and it's whenever an individual puts. So like, I mean, this is a card I wish I wish Experiment Craj was red for.
Oh God.
Yeah, Kraj loves this card and can't have this card.
he
Though.
he is
You
not
see
permitted.
Craj like I'll get completed.
He gets a little red Sharpie to draw on him so he can play it.
What are you talking about? This is Experiment Craj. He will be one.
Oh God. Next year you tell me, oh, Nath is gonna turn black or something.
You make that joke. He will.
Oh yeah, you're right. He will.
It's a matter of time.
Yeah.
Clock's ticking.
Yeah. I know.
Wizards, why did it have to go white? Why couldn't it have been black?
Yeah, really.
And then my other favorite card from this is a card that slots perfectly into one of my decks. It is Sulfum Mayhem Dominus. 2 generic red. Legendary creature, Phyrexian horror. It's another one of the gods. Each of us have successfully had like each god so far. And it has, if a source you control would deal non-combat damage to an opponent or a permanent an opponent controls, it double that damage to that player instead. It also has 1 red Phyrexian. Discard 2 cards, put an indestructibility counter on this card.
I think this is the best out of all of them.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like
This slots perfectly into my hostility deck.
This is it's just such an obscene amount of damage that can be done with it. It just puts it over the top.
I like the fact that it's non-combat the most. That you actually have to like this would never go in burn just because burn's too low the ground.
So I got a commander deck with this in mind. Ashling the Pilgrim, this card, and 98 lands.
God damn it.
It was 99 before this card, so the
Yeah, that should tell you something.
We changed something, guys. We changed something.
but I really like this card because I have a deck. It's piloted by hostility. It's funny because Ashling is actually the backup commander, even though I don't have it in that deck. It's basically a lot of indirect damage that I'm dealing to people. And this slots perfectly in because all the damage that I do is indirect and non-combat, and it's wonderful. I just love this card so much. It's a great card.
I'm not looking forward to seeing this inside the Norn deck that we face.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
This Norn deck is particularly evil because we decided to do a control plan on it and be really mean about it.
And the pilot usually is just like, yeah, fuck all your shit. Rather than trying to kill us, it's just like, I'm just going to kill everything that you have and then spread the wealth.
Yeah. He says spread the wealth, but he doesn't kill us along with it, which I'd rather him just kill us.
Yeah. He makes us suffer longer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, what are your thoughts on the set? Or on this color in the set?
I think this is my second favorite of them all. There's not much going for it, and all things considered, for like in terms of like super powerful and like broken cards, but that's kind of what makes me like it more. Is that it's well balanced and again, just like black, sticks to what it's good at, and it has a lot of good flavor of Urabrask's tribe and the whole helping the Mirrodin or the Mirrans. Is that what they call them?
Yeah, Mirrans.
Yeah, helping the Mirrans fight against the Phyrexians.
There's also a good card that could go in your Goblins deck. It's called Blazing Crescendo. It's one generic, 1 red, instant. Target creature gets +1/+3 until end of turn. Also has exile top card of your library until end of your next turn. You may play that card.
Oh, Impulse Draw in that deck is kind of insane.
Very spooky.
And it's a common, so count me in.
Also a very underrated card in this set, which I think will be actually a really cool build, is Cacophony Scamp.
Yes.
It is 1 red, creature, Phyrexian Goblin Warrior, 3 creature types.
Yeah.
whenever Cacophony Scamp deals combat damage to a player, you may sacrifice this. If you do proliferate, when it dies, it deals damage equal to its power to any target. I love this card.
It almost made it onto my list, but I'm like, I think I like Red Suns just a little bit more. But this card is pretty fun.
I have some goblins to think about in this set to grab, because that's one definitely.
I just like the artifacts. I like all this, like everything it's doing is very red, and it's just like it's cool.
Yeah, it's very simple, but I quite, it's fine.
Yep.
Harmless.
Yeah, it's very not going to destroy any formats, and that's what we like the most about it. Well, thank you all for listening in, and hopefully you take something away from this. Like, comment, subscribe. Follow us on Twitter if you so desire, and we'll see you for the next one where we talk about green. Have a good day.